الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
Welcome to Let the Quran Speak. My name is Safiya, I'm your host. The aim of Let the Quran Speak is to help you gain deeper insights into Muslims and Islam, as it is practiced here and in other parts of the world. We have a special feature today, an interview with Imam Muhammad Haj Majid, President of the Islamic Society of North America. He'll be sharing some insights on leading North American Muslims. But before we get to that interview, we want to discuss the benefits of religion. In modern time, religious beliefs and practices have come under attack. We often hear about how religion imposes difficulties and constraints on believers and non-believers alike. But can religion serve to benefit individuals? What does belief in God do for a person and for the larger community around him or her? And what about religion's rituals and practices associated with religion? Do they serve any good? With me to answer those questions, Dr. Shabir Ali, President of the Islamic Information Center. Dr. Shabir Ali, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
Pleasure to be on.
Now, you're a religious person. What does religion do for you? We often hear negative things about religion, but there must be a reason why people continue to be religious today or to adhere to a religion. So maybe you can talk about your own experiences.
My own experience has been that there are certain ultimate questions which could not be answered outside of religion. A simple thing like the presence of beauty in the world. We appreciate beauty, but is beauty only in the eye of the beholder, or is there some real transcendental sense in which beauty exists and we are just simply latching on to that? Okay, maybe the appreciation of beauty is not so important, but what about the belief in certain truth values? Mm-hmm. Now, if we make an assertion that something is a fact, then that may be our belief that something is a fact, and that some discovery may later on prove or disprove our belief. And by discovery, we therefore mean that there is some way of finding out whether this belief is true or not. Well, what about our belief that certain things are wrong? Is there a way of finding that out in the universe? Well, if we explore all physical objects, there is no way in which we can find out that it is wrong to do something or right to do something. Mm-hmm. Right or wrong is not built into the physical universe. That could only lay in the belief of God himself or the knowledge of God himself. So that when we say that something is right or wrong, we are hoping that our statement and our belief about what is right or wrong approximates what is already in the mind of God. Mm-hmm. And so there is an objective grounding for what we say is right or wrong. Otherwise, I can say that something is right, you can say the same thing is wrong, and there's no way that you or I could prove or disprove to each other who is correct. In mm-hmm. fact, worse than this, there is no way that we could actually assure ourselves that what we think is true and right is actually true and right.
So how would you explain the fact that we have religious people from the same religious faith, from the same faith, who differ on interpretations of what is good and what is bad?
Yes, we will differ within the same faith and more so outside of the faith, mm-hmm. or between religions the differences are more pronounced. So one religion may say that something is right and the other may say that something is wrong. The same thing is wrong, and then the question is who is right. But I'm going deeper than this and saying that when each person within his or her religious tradition believes that what they're saying is true, their belief is grounded in the further belief that what they're saying is true according to what is in the mind of God. They're trying to approximate the mind of God. It's almost like...
So there's a sort of standard by which one can compare it.
Yes, so there is an objective standard mm-hmm. there. It's almost like shooting an arrow. Do you shoot an arrow and then go find where it landed and then draw the target around it and say, okay, my arrow has hit the target? Or do you have a visual image of the target and then you try to shoot that target and then you come close to it or not quite? So in the case of religion, when we say that something is right, it's like we have the target as being God, and we're trying to approximate the mind of God in saying that certain things are right and certain things are wrong. So we have a real target, and we're trying to hit that target. Whereas if we didn't have this, then anyone says that something is right or something is wrong, they're looking at where their minds lead, and then they're saying, okay, that's where the target is. My mind is the end, be all and end all of it, or not necessarily my own mind, but the minds of human beings altogether. So in religious thought, we're saying that it doesn't matter about what the minds of human beings altogether think. That's like shooting the arrow and then drawing the target around it. What matters is what is in the mind of God. That is our target, and can we approximate that? Now, it so happens that a further belief is that God has inspired human beings and given us that intellect which will help us collectively to approximate his mind, so that whereas one or two individuals or few individuals may have an aberrant view, most people together of good, clear thinking will actually arrive at moral principles and good conclusions that will approximate the mind of God. But here too, we're falling back on the idea that there is a target, the mind of God, that we're trying to approximate.
What other sort of benefit do you think religion serves, either to individuals or to society as a whole?
It gives, at least for me, you were asking about me
Yes.
personally, and I think for many people, a sense of direction and an objective in life. If we did not have the sense that God created us, then we have to conceive of ourselves as being on one speck within a large galaxy that is our Earth. And it would seem that we're here for no reason. We just happen to develop in a long series of evolutionary processes. And here we find ourselves, and if we want to do something good with our lives, then this is up to us to make something good out of it. Otherwise, it's here in a purposeless universe without any purpose of its own. We can give it purpose if we want, but we don't have to. There is no have to, there is no ought built into the universe itself.
So what does that purpose do? How does it invigorate your life?
Well, it gives value to the human being to begin with. The Quran says, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We have ennobled the children of Adam. And with this in mind, that God created us, made us noble, gave us a purpose, a reason to live, and things to live for, and principles to live by. These are all important guiding precepts that are found in religion, but not outside of it.
Is one of the benefits of religion that it regulates behavior?
Yes, in fact, if it had not been for religion, we would have no way of prescribing proper behavior to anyone else. The modern Western world has largely benefited from the Judeo-Christian precepts, such as, for example, the Ten Commandments. And the important commandment, thou shalt not murder, is an important teaching in all modern civilizations. And people forget that there is a religious origin to this. If we took away the religious origin, then people can make up any law that they want. But anyone can make up the law for themselves, but they could not prescribe it for others. We can say, okay, we'll live by the precept that we will not murder. But how do you preach to another person, somebody who is bent on murdering, somebody who finds it advantageous to themselves to murder, to kill, rape, steal, and pillage? On what ground would we say to them that you ought not to do that?
We'll have to leave it at that, Brother Jabir. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
We'll take a break. When we return, we will go to an interview with Imam Muhammad Majid, President of the Islamic Society of North America.